Whoa, weird. This is Shelby. I just saw a movie called Wind River, starring Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen, and a few other folks. This is outside the movies. I'm not one of those other clowns that you usually see on this thing, but I did just see this movie here, late screening. So basically the plot is Jeremy Renner is married or has an ex-wife who is Native American, based on the Wind River reservation, and years before, something has happened and it resulted in the death of their daughter, and the grief sort of split them up. And yeah, so the movie then is here's another murder that happens on this reservation. Jeremy Renner is a hunter there. He's got ties there, and he goes to hunt and track down who done it. Elizabeth Olsen comes in as the naive outsider FBI agent. And the movie is fine. It comes in fits and starts. The movie is written and directed by Taylor Sheridan, who I believe did Hell or High Water, and that movie, when I first saw it, was pretty good. Did not really hold up in repeat viewing. It seemed a little on the nose, but it had more of an assured vision than this one did. This was a little seemed a little unsure of itself. The characters are okay. They're not fully drawn, and I will say there's a lack of reason for this movie to exist. Now, that doesn't mean to say that this movie is bad. It just makes me question what it's all about. But I would say Jeremy Renner gives a pretty good performance, and then you know, you have some nice little cameos here and there. I don't want to spoil anything, but basically, you know, the movie tries to maintain this tension about, you know, what is Jeremy Renner willing to do? What is he going to be forced to do? What does this reservation represent? And what does the harsh winters in Wyoming sort of push us as a species into desiring, and then kind of ties it all up in a little revenge plot. But I will say, Elizabeth Olsen, what's going on? You know, I'm not completely sold on her yet. I haven't seen everything she's been in. I should probably see Marcy May Marlene. I know that one's supposed to be really good. I haven't seen it, sorry. But she seems slightly miscast here. It's one of those cases where she comes in as the outsider and is going, you know, she comes off as a little disrespectful at first because she doesn't know the customs here, and she's just trying to get through this, but she also doesn't seem to know what she's doing. I don't know. I don't know any FBI agents. You know, bad luck, I guess. But she doesn't seem to know her job as well as I think she ought to, but, you know, what do I know? But there's a good scene between her and Jeremy Renner midway through the film, where Jeremy Renner confesses why he's committed to solving this case, and you have, you know, some nice scenery in the film. I think it's a little too cutty in the editing room for my taste. It feels like it needs to showcase the sort of landscape a little bit more, but, you know, you get the sense by the end of the movie that the film was almost taken away from them in terms of what they wanted it to be. The final moment, there's a strange title card that comes up that makes some suggestion about a stat about the numbers of Native American women who aren't reported every year from the reservations that go missing. And it seems a little disconnected and irrelevant to, what the themes seem to be. Yeah, that's connected to the plot, what that says, but it doesn't necessarily, have to do with anything too much. So, I don't know. The movie has some interesting uses of music and very evocative sound design, and there is one moment where the cutting is sort of reminiscent of Silence of the Lambs, if you know what I'm talking about. And that was nice. That was a nice surprise. But on the whole, I think it's a relatively conventional mystery thriller that wants to traffic in some new territory, but seems a little too safe and a little too conservative, and might have been less so in earlier iterations of the script or cut. I'm not sure. But I think it's definitely something, if it comes on television, if you're wandering through Netflix one day and you're in a mood where you want to see a little bit of a grisly couple moments, a little dark, go ahead. The characters aren't really that, fully drawn, but what are you going to do? It tries to be a mood piece in many ways, and it doesn't always succeed, but it doesn't always fail. And I will say the best two scenes in the movie revolve around a character telling stories from their past. And so it seems like, I bet if the film had had more of its way, then we would have had a lot more silence, we would have had a lot more introspection, and the script as is might have come more alive without adding any more dialogue. And so, that's nice. I will say there's who plays the sheriff on the Wind River Reservation. I've seen him before. If I could recall his name, I would. But it's always nice to see him in movies. I really enjoyed him here. And then, I don't know. I think Hell or High Water was a stronger film. I think this had interesting ambitions. But I don't know quite what they were. But all is not lost. So I would say one thing. The poster for this movie is bonkers. I'm not sure. I've walked far away from it at this point, but I wish that it had been. I wish it had been a little bit better of a movie, but whatever. I'm going to stop railing on it here. It's nice to see Jeremy Renner. It's nice to see a lot of people. Anyhow, how many mystery thriller movies that take place on desolate, cold Native American reservations do you get? None? Anyway, so that's nice. I'd like to see this director traffic in this territory again and kind of get a little more free reign, go a little darker, a little more grittier, have things a little more, tangled up. Yeah. So, I'm Shelby Baldock. You have no idea who I am. I'm talking to you. And this has been outside of the movies or outside the movies. It's not for me to decide. It's for our fellow citizens to decide, You got to get out and... I'm just making up dumb shit at this point. Anyway, so that's Wind River. I'll see you in the future.